but nothing quite felt like the right one until recently you've got, I'm going to have to decide on one. I'm going to decide what it is that I'm doing. Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whichever area of your chart you're wanting to have a look at. It's a general reading, so general reading rules apply. Timing is not absolute. Roles, when they're discussed within the reading, can be reversed. It could be you when I'm saying it's someone else, or it could be someone else when I'm saying it's you. But my readings tend to be pretty personal focused, so that doesn't happen a lot. But the important thing is that the reading either is for you or it isn't. It's not a matter of take what resonates. If the past and the present do not fit, then the reading is not for you. It's for another Libra. If the past and the present fit, great. If it does, comment down below, please subscribe. The other thing is I'd like you to come to my reading with a question. So pause the video if you have to. Have a think about all the questions that are flowing around you at the moment. Pick one of them and focus on it, because basically energy in, energy out. So focus. But be aware of all of them, because the cards will tend to answer whatever they want. But again, if the past and the present don't fit, it doesn't matter what they're answering, because it's not for you. So having said all of that, let me bring up the cards. Any moment now. Right, there we go. So you're in the birth pangs of a new beginning. The new beginning isn't here yet. You might have worked towards it and it's approaching, but it's not here yet. I almost feel like you are waiting for the right time to act, and you're well aware that the right time to act is not yet, because things around are too confusing, things around are moving too slowly, and also you are being introduced to numerous new ways of looking at a situation which you hadn't really thought of before, and it's less than comfortable. I think there's information that has come your way that is, you're itching to get this change started. You know, why is it not here? Why can I not do this yet? But you know why you can't do this yet. So that's the how you're feeling at the moment, if that makes sense. Let's have a look at the, well, right at the present, you seem to be being called to protect that which is yours. You have built a firm foundation and you're waiting for the light of the sun to actually fall upon it so that you can see it grow. But I want to go more to, well, in fact, let's start with the distant but relevant past. There is a time before where you'd cut something out of your life as a declaration of your own power, but you found that that had closed doors to you. It closed opportunities to you. Even though, yeah, you were great there, you were great in your own power, the paths that you had wanted to go to just were closed. It was almost as if by trying to achieve what you wanted to achieve, you had lost the pathway to achieve it. But that didn't stop you eventually declaring victory as you moved ahead, building up a new life, a new foundation. But there were certain times when exercising your power was something that you were a little reluctant about. Right, so there's the distant relevant past. Somewhere there's a lesson that you've learned there that you either are using at the moment or could be using at the moment. And if you are using it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing to be using it, but we'll find out. So you went into, as you're feeling at the moment, a time of the hanged man, of oh, that's interesting, because this is a winged Medusa that is sat here with the hanged man, with her feet on a labyrinth. things were distorted for a while. I think you felt that the emotional responses that you got from other people were a lot colder than what they actually were, because you were in a position where you could declare victory. 6 of Wands here, 6 of Wands here. But that victory was very much, it was like it was on display. It was like, look, world, look at what I've done. And there was no real genuine emotion, as in no real genuine appreciation, no real genuine praise, no real genuine linking with the people that you were showing this victory to, which led you to feel up to the challenge, but maybe a tad defensive about it as well. But you were certainly up for the challenge, and it was something that I feel, because you didn't get the response that you were after, you set to plan. You set to plan on a new direction, new dreams, but again, this seemed to cause conflict around you. More because you also saw other people doing stupid things that you knew damn well were stupid, but it was almost like they were doing it under the direction of someone who was manipulating them. Okay, didn't expect that. But in the midst of all of this, you set forward a new path, a new dream, this is how I'm going to go forward. Because Ace of Cups here, and I'm not seeing it as a love offer, I'm seeing it as with it being a fountain, I'm almost seeing it as a dream that's acting as some form of purification. Because it opened a lot of doors to you. But many of those doors contained quite a bit of anxiety for you as well. So it was like, yeah, I want to do this. Oh, do I want to do? If I do this, this will go wrong. If I do that, that will go wrong. If I do this, this person will be angry at me. If I do that, that person will be angry at me. That person will block me. That person will try and so there's a lot of voices in all of here. There's the audience of the victory parade in both 6 of Wands. There's a lot of voices in all of these cups that are around. Each one's wanting to say something, come this way. But nothing quite felt like the right one until recently you've got, I'm going to have to decide on one. I'm going to decide what it is that I'm doing. You started to move forward, and this was the point where that trickle of cosmic wisdom, divine guidance, intuition, whatever you want to call it, started coming through to you the more that you actually set foot on a specific path, which I think you have done because you've built things already. But the path itself, you haven't got that far down it. It's like, say you're going down the yellow brick road, but you're building a car to do it first. You've built the car. You haven't necessarily gone down the yellow brick road yet. But there's been luck your way, and the efforts that you have been working upon, even though they've been without approval from others, have come about, or starting to come about now. And I get the impression that it's about time with this clock here, with the sun and the moon in it as well. Because we have both Empress cards. Well, both. Out of the 2 clarifying decks, both Empress cards are here. So it's showing that the effort that you've put in is starting to pay dividends. Let's just have a look at the bottom of the deck. We've got the Page of Wands. So news coming in that is allowing you to go up a level. But you're still hesitant as to whether you're going to do it. But there's good news, wise news. Not even good, wise news coming in for you. 6 of Cups, 8 of Cups. So there's one previous dream that maybe this one from the back here that you are in the process of walking away from, but you're not walking. I do get the feeling it's not so much that you're walking away from something as you are walking to something, and in the act of walking to something, you are leaving something else behind. And again, there's that feeling of about time, but you're going to explore whole new territories where you've never been before. Now, the oracle cards that flipped over, we have from the Dark Goddess Oracle, the cheerful ones of loss and guilt. But there's a real emphasis here on peace and on laying foundation. So we've got here from the not Earth Magic Oracle, hang on. The Angels and Ancestors Oracle, we've got the Broken Arrow, embrace the energies of peace. And with the gods as well, we've got Irene, who is a goddess of peace. There's no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. With Ishtar, setting boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. So there is something that you are very self-focused on and not necessarily with a great deal of external support. But I think that you are feeling guilty about that. But there is an element of you do still need to concentrate on the homestead. So this might be a family thing. Then again, your family could easily, with these cards, be standing next to you, and it's a outside the home thing where you're receiving this criticism, blocking, lack of recognition. But there's more for you to learn. You are coming into a new beginning, watch Tower of the East, spring. But from the Lightworker Oracle, Melchizedek, higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required for further progress. Now, Melchizedek, for me, is very much tied into getting in touch with spirit, because the Order of Melchizedek is a high up order, but also learning to expand and manipulate your energy field, or in more practical terms, your sphere of influence. And this is what you've been building. We went from the 2 of Wands to the 3 of Wands where you are now. Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations and divine plan. You were supposed to go through all of this. And then one final card that I don't know the whys yet for is true love. But it's also someone looking at a reflection of themselves. So with this guilt and loss, maybe you need to forgive yourself that you've wanted to move forward on this, whatever it is. So we have the 4 of Pentacles at the moment, King of Swords, 7 of Swords. So you've built a foundation, you're waiting for the light to hit it, but you've also been protecting it. And there's certain things that you are trying to keep from view at the moment, certain people that you are trying to protect, and threats that you are trying to avoid and stay under the radar from. But there's an element of you need to know when to cut certain things out. Or maybe there's some legal issues going on at the moment, which would explain the wanting to keep certain things secret, wanting to have other things come out into the open. 3 of Wands, the World, the Emperor. Right. If you lay the correct plans, the world is going to work in your favor, and is working in your favor at the moment, because remember, you're starting to see the harvest of your actions already, for which it's about time. So there is good things coming, and you are managing to declare your own kingdom. Now, with this Emperor, I'm really drawn to the fact that it's a Minotaur, but it's a Minotaur outside of the labyrinth. It's a Minotaur that has broken free. It's a Minotaur that knows exactly what its place is in the world and isn't constantly wandering around lost. Not that we know that the Minotaur was lost in the labyrinth or not, because I don't think he was. He knew his way around. But there is a rebirth coming as long as you keep moving forward with your plans. But things aren't going to look as clear as you would like to start off with. You have got to bring 2 competing facts, philosophies together in your life. Ones that seem to stand in opposition to one another, but they can be harmonized if you're willing to pick up the burden. But you don't have to pick up the entire burden. You can pick up what you choose, to work with, and say, no, what I'm leaving on the road, I'm leaving on the road. It doesn't matter. Look at this. The cart is obviously broken, so he's abandoned it. He's dropped two of his ones. There's a third one about to fall. Oh well, he'll get there with the seven ones, which is what you started with. Um, Now we're going into a time of, right, start listening to your guidance, start listening to that intuition. Intuition is going to be coming to you. You start paying attention to the signs and synchronicities and start losing those bits of aggravations that you don't need. Like I say, drop some of the burdens because not everything is necessary right now. Because things will balance out and you are going to receive the assistance that you require, but it is finely honed. It is a balancing act, and you are right to not jump in and act immediately. Or rather, what I'm seeing is you're right not to rush ahead immediately. Yes, keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward slowly, as if you are exploring underground, because you will be fine. You have got everything that you need around you, and change is coming. But clarity will show you where somebody is supporting you and where other people are holding you back, where you have had, you need to take account of the losses that you've had so far before you can move forward. You need to be very clear on what burdens you have dropped and what burdens you want to drop. Because I think with this line here, I'm noticing when you choose to drop your burdens, just be very, very aware of what the burdens are that you're dropping, and just pay attention to any burdens that you may have inadvertently dropped through lack of time or lack of caring, or thinking, oh, that's not important. Because you need to choose what burdens to drop, not just let it happen. You need to maintain a control of that process. You need to let your own law down, lay your own law down. But there is news that will come in that will be quite transformative, that will bring that change for you, and you will be receiving the recognition that you're after. Just keep listening to that guidance. But where is that moon card? Here. You will find that way to balance the two competing priorities. I think priorities is probably a good word. And although it may seem that you're doing the same thing over and over again, you are not. You are making progress. And every time you are doing this action, you are doing something unique. It's not the same as last time, and it won't be the same as next time. There is improvement, there is greater art, greater skill, greater craft, greater flair happening every time you are doing the same thing over and over again, because people are seeing that you are very clear upon what you want, but you may be operating in the shadows a little bit, but you do have a good dream, so stick with it. You just have to be careful to put these old pains aside. So yes, get rid of your guilt, get your sense of loss, certain things you needed to leave, lose even, certain things, certain burdens you may need to pick up again. But if you do, you have to drop other ones to make space for them. But there could be pain in the future, but you don't have to get dragged down by it. You just need to be aware of all the tools at your disposal. And with that Melchizedek card, and certainly this Four of Cups, read. That's one thing. There is stuff in the written word that will assist you in moving forward. Let's have a look at one of your potential futures. The Seven of Wands, so we've got victory coming. If you manage to balance both the tame and the wild, this is what this moon card's telling me. So that also means you have to allow the wild to occur, allow part of the wild part of yourself to come out, as well as constantly, that tame part. Thing with the Minotaur is half beast, half man. The Minotaur here may be an emperor, but he is also part beast. He is also part wild, and that's what gives him his majesty, that freedom, that authority, because ain't nobody going to argue with him. And I feel that you can be immune to a certain amount of outside forces as long as you are maintaining the faith in the dream that you are going for. And here we have the moon appearing again. Of course, this could be, there's a lot of Pisces influence here as well, with all these moon cards. Moon, moon, moon. So if there's a Pisces coming in, they've got good news for you. They're going to help you. But at first, I think you might find them quite frustrating. That's speaking as a Pisces. But let that wild bit out where you notice it could be necessary, or where there is no fear of needing to restrict it. Magic, moon card again, but I'm always drawn to the unicorn on that. Well, you can't not be drawn to the unicorn on this card. Let me hold it up to the camera. You can see it's, pretty obvious. But that fact of, out of the unity of the two forces within the moon, you have created something impossible. And it's not a matter of only you can see it. Other people are able to see it because we had those Six of Wands cards out in the spread. But you are going through a time of searching for your inner light. But once you find the source of your power, change is coming for you. So change is coming. You need to make sure that, not that you're in control of that change, but that you have got rid of the stuff that you don't want the world to change for you. Like that loss and guilt, like whatever those secrets or facts you're just trying to keep to one side are, carry on keeping them to one side, use them when the time is right. Because it's almost like you're worried that this balancing act ain't going to finish, and that the commitment that you want to go for will end up putting you in debt to somebody or something. And what else was I saying? That it'll come back and bite you in the butt. But I don't think it will. But bear in mind, you're not committed yet, and nor do you need to be. That your intuition will show you what time it is to go, right, now I commit to this. Let's have a look at the Oracle cards. I'm hoping this makes sense for you, Libra. So, Prometheus, cunning. So yes, with that Seven of Swords, it was here, wasn't it? Yeah. You need to be cunning to keep certain facts away from mixing with other facts and making the picture seem murky. Beware of conflating two issues when you're trying to bring two competing forces together. They are not the same thing. They are two separate things, and you can't let one spill into the other, but you can, once they're busy not spilling into one another, they can work in harmony together at your direction. And funnily enough, only at your direction. But it will take skill for that. But yes, you are in a position where you're needing to protect everything that is around you. The Angel of Power, the power of divine love, protects and enfolds me. So you're supported in this. I'm not a big fan of keeping secrets and keeping secrets hidden, but this is not a bad thing that you're doing. It is a necessary thing. A new start is coming. Well, we saw that with the Death card where there was one there. Where was the other one? Here. Change is coming. You are going to have to sometimes use your power not in full light. So that could be with regards to the secrets that you're trying to keep to one side, or at least separate from other things. But also, there are times where you may have to exercise your power and not quite know and be aware that you don't know. So it's a known unknown. and not quite know how it's going to affect what the environment you're expressing that power in. But trust on that case, assume that your intuition has led you there, as long as you've been listening to your intuition, listening to your signs. And that might be the time where you do need to let the wild out, because the tame side of you will just go, oh no, not doing that, not doing that. And the tame side of you is refusing to do anything. And the bit of you that looks down on both of them going, well, what are we going to do then? If you're not going to do anything, what are we going to do? That's the bit where you let the wild bit out. Find joy in the environment that this is actually, you will dine out on this, whatever is going on here. For years to come, this will be a story that you will be able to tell. And probably need to tell with, I feel, with what's going on. But as in, other people will need to hear it, but not that you will need to tell it, but I think that other people will need to hear it. Whether that's a family thing or whether you're going to end up writing a book, who knows? But this is all building for this new start for you, for where you can fly free, where you are accepting the miracle of transformation, where you are unfolding into your destiny, where things are fluid around you. Simple as that. Things are fluid around you. Just make sure that you are acting with wisdom. And when the wisdom lets you down because the tame side of you go, oh no, can't do that, that's when you let that wild side out of you, and let your wild side lay down the law where you're not quite sure what the effect will be, but you need to do something. Today I choose hope. This is also bringing you into, like I said, 4 of Cups there, that all these intuition cards that are going on, high priestesses and moons. You are being brought into a form of spirituality. But hey, you're watching a tarot reading on YouTube. You're already there for like learning about spirituality. But that spirituality will become more important to you. And I think what it's okay, I'm getting a lesson from this. I'm Libra Moon. Being able to syncretize, bring into harmony these two opposing forces, and synthesize something out of them, is going to show you, not that duality is wrong, like a lot of spiritual stuff, you can walk away thinking, oh my God, duality is wrong, unity is the way to go. Well, yes, unity is the way to go, but polarity has its purpose. You can't have light without dark. You can't have experience without love and pain. But you are working towards a happy family, and you are going to be getting there. So this is something that is occurring on an internal, spiritual, emotional level, and externally in the world for you, which is a really, really nice thing to see. You are seeing where duality is useful and where duality is useless. And you are bringing two parts of a duality, or maybe several dualities, together as individual things, where you can work with both of them. But that's transformative for you. And that's why at the minute everything's so damn confusing and painful, because transformation is never without pain. And transformation, trying to deal with two opposites and having them both be right and both be valid and both be necessary, yeah, it's confusing. Until you can, I don't even want to say rise above it, but manage to synthesize the two into one larger whole. But I think you may be bringing together more than one duality. Not into one thing. If you're bringing two dualities together, it's into two things. But those two things ain't going to become a duality of their own. So if this means anything to you, Libra, comment down below, please. Press subscribe while you're there. Soon this side, you will see the Libra playlist and your waxing moon reading. The next readings to come out will be your waning. No, they won't. There'll be your full moon, then your waning moons. Waning moons might be a bit late. Not that these are early. Yeah, sorry your February reading was late. But in the meantime, keep plodding on and don't worry that it feels confused, because you are being pulled from pillar to post at the moment, and you're deliberately being pulled from pillar to post. All right? Cheers.